Hey YouTube, I'm wearing my sunglasses tonight in Idaho. Idaho. Uh, I thought I'd give it a spin. You know what I mean? I'm all in this light. Uh, on the other phone here, looking for myself so that I can see what my notifications look like. Uh, Not sure who's on here unless it's just me and the dumb phone or the other phone is not letting me do anything. I can't even find myself. So now I know what the problem is. Yeah, let's see if I can find myself. That's one thing they should be doing. They should be putting the channels and not the videos. That's all I've been doing is just trying to find whenever the other videos go away, so I can find the other people with the same name. Maybe I need to do a handle. I don't know. I guess maybe I'll do that. Not sure why I'm getting noises either. I don't know if it's because people are jumping in or off or whatever, but mic check. Yep, it's working. Okay. Just type in welcome here to all those that might show up late tonight. I'm tired and had a long day, even though actually didn't do a whole lot, you know. Was bad, ate some candy. I shouldn't be doing that, but I did. Um, so yeah, I just went through making sure I check my permit book, uh, do my annual inspections for the vehicles, do my insurance, make sure those cards are in the permit book. And see, I'm doing all this to prepare for a driver to come on, and he's passing all this stuff and doing well. And having trouble with, well, let's just put it this way: it's Christmas, right? I put a first class stamp on a piece of mail, and based on what I've been told, they haven't received the mail, and it's over a week. Um, and it's actually important that this piece of mail get through. It's not a Christmas card; it's just in an envelope. Um, I know things happen, but those type of things shouldn't be occurring. So yeah, that kind of pessimistic, pessimistic. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, maybe I'll find myself here this time, um, because I want to be able to see my notifications so I can also fix things or update things, just make everything better. I'm not I'm not too worried, but uh, about what image I'm putting out there for. It's just kind of a vlog. And really, it's just something to do. I was kind of challenged, or not really challenged, but it's like, hey, you might as well just try it, do it. Not saying it's better or worse than LinkedIn, or more professional, less professional. Uh, so yeah, really, what I'm up to is just trying to get a little bit of a base or a foundation of stuff that's going on that I can build from after I have exposed myself to it. I mean, I know I'm not going to be good at everything, and oh, check it out. I found myself. I have more videos than I do subscribers. Hey, that's typically the norm, right? Make sure I turn on all the notifications. All right. Then hopefully it'll ding at me next time or show me something. There we go. All right. Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's practice here. Let's click on this one and see what happens. Welcome. All right. Create a channel to join the chat. Oh, you mean I haven't created a channel, huh? On the other side? Hmm. Let's see what'll happen here. Boom. Does it say I got a like? Oh, it's finally showing one person in here and one like. All right. I got to be nice and say, somebody did it first. He'll recognize what I'm talking about if he ever sees it. Uh, Good enough. Good enough. I see my Given MC hacksaw. Lock, yeah. Given MC lock, I mean hacksaw. Okay. All right. So just throwing it out there. Um, Everybody's probably going to Christmas stuff, on vacation. So I just pretty much am out here in Idaho, like 15 to, I don't know, am I 2,000 miles away? I don't know, from home. So I'm way out here. Um, First time to Idaho. I drove, through Wyoming and all those things. That's something that I've done in the past quite often. So I was comfortable with coming out here during this time of the year, plus giving myself a challenge, just really to make sure I'm ready for everything that's gonna go on here in the future with the driver. Make sure the truck's gonna do really good, like I anticipate it's going to. Kind of see how things are going out here. Get over my little fear from my first major breakdown. It was in Wyoming, around Elk Mountain. I don't know if it was a year and a half ago, but that's when I discovered the importance of. I don't know if it's the importance of. Um, yeah, I still don't know exactly what the issue was. I don't know if my U joints went dry. Um, I think I had a PM done and an oil change. I can't remember. It was pretty early in the process, or if they were just worn out or something. I'm not real sure. But now that all the U joints and carrier bearings and all those things and differentials have been new fluid in, gearboxes, the transmission, all those things have been addressed and fixed. Um, so I'm feeling good, comfortable with the, you know, with the drivetrain there, and so hopefully nothing like that would happen. Yeah, I'm pretty tired. It's like Eastern time. I think it's somewhere around midnight. I don't know if Sterling's going to jump on. I don't know if he's out here FedExing it. There's I think it's Dodie with Edgewood. I saw her video. It was interesting that she put out there. I didn't really know she was running steel. I think she has a Conestoga, but I didn't know she ran steel or through change. So that was interesting to see. But yeah, all day. It was just like paperwork, phone calls, transferring money, paying bills, going through the permit book. I mean, I'm not even done with all this paperwork. I've just identified what it is that I've needed, that I've put off long enough. Or things like the UCR, I need to get that done. I need to get my IFTA stickers done all before January 1st. So, I'm not completely unprepared or behind, but I'm getting close. Uh, and yeah, I don't know what to think. Yeah, and I don't know what all to share, but there aren't good rates out of for flatbed out of the Idaho area. I'm not going to California. I'm not going into Oregon because I haven't established that. And um, Washington, I really don't see anything headed up to Washington, or there's no reason for me to deadhead up there because I don't really see anything out of there currently. So I'm just really, I didn't get really great rates coming out here, but like I said, it was just something I generally needed to get a load out of Missouri. I couldn't find anything worthwhile going back to Indiana, and it was just it was pretty much that simple. I was like, "Oh, I'll just take this load. I'll deal with it when I get out there." Um, it just seems like something really something to do. I don't know. I worked on the house so much for about 2 weeks, and I was kind of off. Call it vacation if you want to, but it really wasn't. It was just basically work um, that I'd put off for so long that I couldn't put off any longer. If you've seen some of the other videos where have it dug out along the foundation there of the house. I can't let it freeze on that because that wouldn't be good for the foundation, right? So that was something it might not be 100% done, but it's done enough that it won't like ruin anything. I should have done videos for that, but I didn't. I just worked really, really hard on that. And then it was Thanksgiving. I had dental work to do, and did some stuff where my parents are at. Uh, yeah, just kind of hanging out here. Nothing spectacular, nothing really going on. Just sharing with any and all of those people that get to do a lot of paperwork and a lot of management. There's a talk to the realtor guy about what's going on with something that I'm looking at. And I don't know if I'll receive the email tonight, but maybe there's an offer drawn up. And so basically, I built my cash reserves back up a little bit to yet again probably, make them go down again to levels that I don't like. Um, Getting a little bit more credit or credit lines established. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I feel like there could be a positive outcome to the work that I've been doing and the struggles that I've been or that I've put myself in. Trying to keep a really good positive, outlook. And I know, and I guess maybe what helps me deal with it is that I generally anticipated the difficulty that I was, or the challenge that I was putting myself into. I know some people wouldn't deal with that kind of a circumstance, and maybe some of them can't due to their own circumstances. However, I really think that if I can get things moving in the directions that I'm pushing them toward, then something something will sort of ease as far as my understanding of how things are going to go. Some people are starting to finally talk a little bit about freight rates and spot rates are likely going to start to come back instead of consistently going down like they currently are. Um, it's a little bit longer than a month, but they're generally anticipating a little bit of an uptick in those things. So I'm staying positive there as well. Uh, there's a counter thought that's going on with the inflation numbers. The inflation, I think CPI and maybe PPI. I don't know which one exactly, but the ones that they were referring to, the sources that I've been listening to or consuming, that are talking about these inflation numbers have started to pull back. Therefore, there's still going to be some interest rate hikes, but on the inflation side, um, that generally means the policy that the Fed has taken, along with any other, I don't want to use the wrong word, but there are externalities and internalities or something like that. So I won't use those words because I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about. It's this is off the top of my head, right? So outside forces, some of those variables seem to be getting under control a little bit. I'm not saying nothing can't happen or something extreme, but I'm some of the sources and that, like I said, like I'm consuming and what they're discussing, is that this may not go as deep as some people were thinking. I'm not saying that it's completely over, and it still could be a long, drawn out flat, without going down deeper, into extremely dangerous territory. Uh, but if it stabilizes somewhat and then just kind of stays at this stable, not stable, if it stays at that level, uh, then then some other factors might start to mitigate some of the others. So like, uh, it's all speculation and all that, but um, I don't think there's going to be. I don't think there's autonomous trucks and electric trucks going to turn the light switch on January 1st, and then everybody's just going to disappear. I don't really see that happening. But um, some people like to talk that way and like to think that way or push that way or be ignorant that way. But uh, I'm just keeping a positive, good outlook on things. But I think right now is a good time to really stress, be self disciplined, really stress being self disciplined, uh, staying in control of everything that is possible, as far as management, stressing the management of what is occurring. Uh, because I have quite a few things to quite a few things to get accomplished that are kind of in reach, but I can't move too fast because I just have to pull the reins, hold myself back. Because I see about, I probably see about 3 or 4 steps ahead. And those are probably significant for me, positive moves, directions. And if I don't control my own uh, excitement or willingness to move forward, or try to force something too quickly, then it'll do more harm than it will good. And that's a difficult place to be, from where I sit. And I know everybody has this same kind of a scenario playing out in their lives. Uh, yeah. And so, um, back in my mind, it's like, well, you got to be grateful for this and that, and do things the way they're supposed to be done. And but it might be excitement more than frustration, or don't really, I really don't, I don't know how to identify some of those uh, feelings or stresses, or because it's not really right either way, because it's just an unease, just uneasy with being in that spot. Uh, but I guess it kind of, I mean, it's kind of like complaining about something positive. That's it. It's kind of doesn't make sense, right? But but that's what I'm doing out here in Idaho, just getting a little bit of something else accomplished. Right now, there's a blizzard, I guess, on I-80. Everything is closed in both directions because of all kinds of wrecks and everything else. So I made it to Idaho, and this is the strange thing about Boise, the place that I delivered to. They're like, man, this never happens here in this little section of Idaho or something. It like hardly ever snows or gets this cold. So it was really strange to get, like, I don't know if it was about 6 inches or less, of really heavy, wet snow. So I drove in fog and rain, and then it snowed, probably overnight, towards the night. Yeah. And so I had trouble. I was sliding a lot. Um, there were slopes. I was had to deliver basically on, I don't even know if it's 5%, 10%. It was pretty steep, not ridiculous, but it was steep enough, right? That if I got into this almost slush, heavy wet snow, the tires go across it, and it's not packed down, but it packs straight into a solid sheet of ice. So I was spinning and had to get a dustpan out and shovel the ice pack away because it was snow everywhere except for where the tires went. As soon as the tires go on it, it smashes it down straight into ice. Like a quarter inch, half inch of ice. So it was. Anyway, this guy was telling me, he's like, yeah, it doesn't do this here in this spot, but if you go in the mountains, that's where it's 2 feet of snow and all kinds of this and that. So I'm like, that's that figures, right? I show up in a kind of unusual circumstance, but made it through, got it all done. Um, so that's how that one went, and and then I identified. I knew I was going to stop, and do some paperwork and pay some bills because there were a couple personal bills that I can't let become late. So that's just the normal truck driver stuff. You're out on the road. So what's nice is technology has allowed for that to happen. So here I am walking around with my bills and checkbook and everything else, and calling on the phone and saying, hey, yeah, I gotta pay my bill. And some things I probably should put on an auto pay, so that's a nice thing too. But there are a few things it's like, man, I don't want to auto pay this or auto pay that, because I still am, you know, I might make a purchase or have something pop up unusual, that my safety net that I provide for myself just isn't quite as large as I want it to be, if that makes sense. I almost seem to almost never have ever established that before, but I might be able to get there. Uh, in the past, it was all about making sure I had everything covered. Now, having everything covered is still very important, but when I have saved a little bit of a cushion, sometimes that cushion isn't quite big enough. So I manage a little bit here and there, if I have something, just like everybody else, right? Uh, so that's what I'm doing. Just sitting here, have my sunglasses on. Uh, why? I don't know. Maybe just look in the mirror and see what I look like with my sunglasses on. I like them. That's all I can say. They're prescription, so I think this is my first. I really think this is my first pair of prescription sunglasses, other than the one time when I was, in school or something, when those transitions first came out. They never worked well for me. They were always too dark, or they were always there. It's just something didn't work well. They would they would be too dark when I needed them to be clear, something like that. I liked them though, so this pair fits probably better than my regular glasses. So yeah, had to put these on. Um, Plus the lights shining straight in my eyes. So yep. So what? Oh, what did I not talk about? I did not talk about the Dunn and Bradstreet. That's another thing I did today. If people don't know, that's another way that you can have and kind of like a different credit that's available to businesses. And you can actually have two different credit scores, one for the business and one for the personal. Uh, this is something a long time ago that yeah, I don't I don't really know. Well, I mean, I guess I just give credit to the person that talked about it was Alex there. I'll say Mother Trucker because I think that's his new site. But yeah, he talked about his struggles and quite some time ago, and just opened up with how he went along through his journey. So that helped me at least put in my own thought process some things that could be beneficial. Some of the things I knew about, some of the things I didn't. So anyway, I get this email from Dun and Bradstreet, and so I have QuickBooks, and this is how I learned about this. QuickBooks had a Dun and Bradstreet thing. I don't know if it was for 6 months or if they just severed their relations or something. I'm not sure, but QuickBooks would provide me with a credit signal and a credit score, and it showed that I have a done score generated, and it was showing the credit. And I don't know if his length of time, um, but I did notice it went from relatively, maybe not the worst credit, but relatively bad uh, business credit, commercial credit, and then it went, as time went on, and it went up, and and so now I guess there's this Paydex score that I was told about again, or whatever, by this person that I called to find out more about how that process works. And I guess you self-report your trade references, and that's different than the personal side. So that is something I learned today. You kind of report on yourself the credit that you're getting commercially, and I don't know if they monitor that or if they reach out somehow, or if Dunn's reason for you to self report is so that they can formulate a database on you or something, or to profile you, or I'm not exactly sure exactly how it works, but that's what it sounds like to me. Is there some mechanism there that the way everybody tries to work together and reduce risk? And you know uh, in school we kind of talked about the business world. It's kind of like, well, uh, in the business workings, then you have your bank over here on the commercial side versus the personal. It's like, hey, I mean, it's not, don't think of this as negative, but you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. It's kind of like more of a relationship, whereas the personal side is, I don't know how to explain it without sound like it's corrupt or something. It's like volume of business. I mean, their business, your business, so you should understand each other. And you work together, you work well together, and they have their risk uh, that they're willing to live with. They want those that are lending uh, want higher returns because they're in the business to get returns on their money, and in return they might make more money available, uh, or easier to get, or provide a line that's larger, or so it's just a little bit different process. They have a different score there. Um, the range is lower. I don't remember if it's 600 is the highest score you can get on the commercial side. I can't remember if it's 600, 650. I don't remember exactly. But then on the personal, I think it's 850. So if you say I got a 580 on the personal side, a 580 is not that good, and then but on this other one, 580 is pretty high. So that's the other little thing. The scores are different, and they mean different. The numbers aren't the same. So yeah, so that's spent well over half an hour speaking to this person on the phone, and they're going to schedule to call me back in February. I'm just like, hey, I got to get the year end done, this and that. I saw your email. It's no longer available for me to look at, and they were saying, okay, well, you kind of have this and that going, but you need to put some more trade references on there so you can get an actual Paydex score. That way, when you get this Paydex score, then that substantiates the business even further. So it's kind of like, that's what it is. It's just trying to step that up and grow. Um, but hey, yeah, what's going on here? It's saying that I have no people over here, and then on this other one, saying I have two. Now there's one. So I must have somebody playing around. One of those extra super technical people that are going, hey, let's mess around with this guy. Who knows, really? Participants, let's see. Oh, person jumped off. Yeah, why is that? I I guess I don't understand. On this other one, I have to create a channel to be able to chat on it. Um, so yeah, that's my rant about the Dun and Bradstreet numbers and scores, and um, keeping things positive, just kind of keeping it in a steady positive upward trajectory. Yeah, my numbers have increased, or my revenue has increased, year after year. I'm just kind of reporting on myself, a little bit of stuff that I've done. I made a projection, so it's like, if somebody's going to analyze my performance as the the person running the company, or whatever, however you want to think of it. Um, I projected this year uh, uh, that I'd hit a certain number, and if things finish out the rest of the year, basically it's not going to change much at all from here. But if things just kind of continue out generally, then I'm going to be off of my projection by 7%. My first projection or forecast of revenues. I'm not even trying to get into, profit or any of those things. The first little benchmark or projection or forecast, I missed it by 7%. Uh, if you wanted to look at it closer, then I don't know if the market this year, spot market, if it's off by 7%, or if it's off by more than 7%. That'd be interesting for me to, review or find, or maybe ask in one of the places that I go to. That I listen to some of those industry programs, and yeah. So I guess that's about all I'll do for now. Glad the person that did jump on. Uh, Hopefully they learned something or heard something that was interesting. You know, um, if you see this in the future and think it was worthwhile, hit the like and subscribe. And I appreciate you viewing it. It was the 13th. Now it's the 14th Eastern time, but it's the 13th where I'm at in Idaho. Oh, looks like somebody jumped back on, maybe. Or is it just me? I don't know. That's going to be a rough one. Let's see if I can see somebody. See if any participants are here, or if it's just the other person. Oh, no. Let's see. Say something is what it says over in the corner there. Oh, let's see if I can do a reaction. Just kind of still playing with this thing. I don't anticipate many viewers at this point because I'm giving nobody, a chance to plan their day. I'm not like scheduling it a day ahead, or I think I did 10 minutes ahead this time. So everybody's probably in bed too or on vacation. So, all right. I think I pretty much got through with my venting today about what I was up to. A lot of paperwork, management, admin, whatever you'd like to call those things, general operations, I don't know, business development. Well, probably not that because I wasn't out networking necessarily, trying to gain more business or anything like that. I was just kind of working on the business. All right. Well, have a good night. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and maybe take a snooze or something. Who knows? Thank you for watching. And we'll just keep at it for a while. And see if we can build something, if it works into something great. I don't know. Maybe you'll see a driver sleeping back there when I'm talking to the screen, and maybe they'll like that. I don't know. We'll see. But have a good night, and I appreciate you watching and having an interest.